Next up, we have Jonathan Berry. And Jonathan has been a part of a few festivals in the past, and he always is like prepared to the nines with like everything. And today is no different. He's going to be here giving us strategies for expansive living all the way from Hawaii. So it's like 6 or 7 in the morning his time. And this specific workshop will give you a framework for spiritual insight and stabilization, as kind of transmuting fears and emotional blockages. And I'm sure so much more about living in your potential. So, Jonathan.
There we go. Aloha Soul family. So good to see you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Deep bow to all of you, the conscious creators, the people who are making a massive impact in the world, here to activate the highest timeline, our new earth timeline, activating our souls here in this life. So grateful to just be here with you. Yeah, I'm here in Honolulu, Hawaii. You might hear some chickens in the background. You might hear the river in the background. You might hear some dogs barking. I mean, it's like we're deep in the nature out here in paradise. And yeah, I'm excited to share a little bit about some of the upgrades and revelations that have come through since the last Emergence Festival. And yeah, just really excited and grateful for Jessica and for Chelsea for just the amazing space that you both hold and the vision of what you've brought into this world through Emergence Festival, through Chrysalis. I've always been such a big fan of your work and just really inspired by the intentionality of this community. I love that I was here in the room before and you guys were talking about light language and I was just like, yes, like that's the entrance that I get to come into, because it's like, we're all there, we're all doing the work and we are the descended masters. We're tapping into the ascended masters. We are the descended masters, the people who are incarnated in these bodies in this lifetime, in the three-dimensional reality, coming from the ether, from the higher dimensions where we were at one point, floating around the galaxies, flying around, zipping around and looking down at these different realities. And then we see Earth down there and we're like, oh, check this place out. Let's go play the game, the game where it's like, we see that Earth is going through this massive transition right now, and that there's all these challenges and it's like massive change. And people are asleep, and the whole game is to wake up and to come back into oneness with source, back into our original state of connection to the universe. And when we get to that state, that's when we start to access the infinite potentials. And that's why I love the intention of the event today, activating and unlocking our infinite potentials. And I have a group that we call the Quantum Creators Group on Facebook, and I really do believe that we are quantum creators of our reality. And I do believe that our mind and our body is a quantum technology. And when we can embark on the path to tuning the instrument of our body, our mind, our soul, we can get crystal clear access to the infinite potentials for our souls unfolding. And similar to how these smartphone devices have within them a crystal that allows for energy and frequency to get accessed from the field around us. The crystal in our phone, we have a crystal in our pineal glands. And raise your hand if you already know about this. Our pineal glands are covered in salt crystals. Yeah, are we all up to date? Yes. Just say yes if you're up to par with that. Literal salt crystals on our pineal gland. And we have the issue with calcification. We have the issue with the purity of our water. Drink pure crystal, mountain water. If you can find a source to a spring, that's something you want to put on your radar for the next chapter of your life. Like, find your local spring, fill that water up, and and doing that breath work. and really do the things necessary to decalcify the pineal gland. There's a lot of stuff being sprayed in the sky, a lot of harmful chemicals in our food systems. And one of my missions on this planet is to help heal this earth, to help heal Mother Earth. And I've got a couple of organizations that I'm running. We have a new initiative this year that we launched. It's called the Human Trust Foundation. I'm wearing my I Trust You shirt. Maybe you may have heard of Virginia Celeste Castillo. We partnered up for the Human Trust Foundation, and we're launching this NF Tree initiative to basically sell art to plant thousands, if not millions of trees. And that was all based on just a conversation. We're like, what would be like if we could dedicate our lives to one thing to make the biggest impact in the world, what would it be? And we just said, like we tuned into it and we're like, well, let's just plant as many trees as possible, because like if humanity is not sustainable in the old system, the old model of the way that we are operating, well, how can we make it more sustainable? It's like, well, let's start with our atmosphere. Let's start with remediating the soil. Let's start with creating more oxygen, and let's see, how deep we can go down the rabbit hole. And this way of living and this kind of like intuitive capacity has been something that I've been really working on over the years. Is this idea of clearing my body, clearing my mind, and tuning my body, and really deeply connecting with God, deeply connecting with the universe, they're constantly expanding my capacity to connect more deeply with the universe. And this is the path to unlocking the next level of our soul's evolution, of our cellular iteration. And I deeply believe that, in my heart, I believe that each one of us is an expression of the divine. That the universe, God, source, whatever it is you want to call it, goes by many names, is expressing itself as you right now. It's looking through your eyes, experiencing life as you. And I'm not saying he or she, it's it. The universe is experiencing every experience that you're having, and it's experiencing the same thoughts as you. And we are a direct extension of it. And I deeply believe that the universe wants to fully express itself as you in this lifetime. It wants a full expression, the fullest expression of us. And so the question is, what can I do in my life to purify my vessel, to become more of a conduit, to be a clear conduit for source to express itself through me, as me, with me, at the highest vibration possible, at the highest frequency? I'm just curious if that resonates for you. I'm oh yes, okay, hallelujah. I'm seeing one sister go, she's going like this, and I'm like, wait, is she? And it's like, no, she's like, no, like, whoa, yeah. Yeah, and so this is the game. This is the game, because we did not come here to just struggle with our limiting beliefs and self-sabotaging behavior and self-doubt and trauma, even though that is oftentimes part of the portal to the next level of the game. And a lot of times, for me personally, like I spent actually a majority of my life running from my trauma towards the light of healing, right? And I was, they talk about spiritual bypassing, like, I was like full on. I was like, screw that trauma, childhood sexual abuse, deep trauma, deep wounding, suppressing the pain of my childhood, numbing out with drugs, alcohol, unconscious relationships, and finding my healing at the time through the Christian faith when I was a teenager. And thank God I found religion at that point in time, because I was about to end my life, because I was in so much pain. And it was through the technology, through the sacred technology, the religious technology of Christianity, that I was given the powers of affirmative prayer, of speaking in tongues, of healing with my hands, the gift of prophecy, initiated and ordained. And that was a stepping stone along the path, right? but not the only way. There was a lot of things I was like, well, this isn't quite adding up. So I went on this epic quest to find out, okay, what is the ultimate truth? What is real? What is true? And I actually started to go to every single religion. I was hungry. I was like, give me truth. Like I wanted to experience enlightenment through every single religion. That was my goal. I was like, well, if I do them all, at least I'll cover all my bases, you know. Um, and I felt like every time I would get there, I was like, this is like this feels powerful, but something's missing. And it wasn't until I was 21 years old when I was on a scooter, I got hit by a truck here in Hawaii, head first to the pavement, near death experience, bulging disc in my spine. I thought I was going to be crippled. I healed completely, but at the time I was broken, and especially my ego. My ego was shattered. My reality, my lifestyle, being a big wave surfer, being, able to physically do anything, and I thought that I couldn't, do anything anymore. I thought I was crippled. And it was at that time that I picked up the book, The Power of Now. Who's read that book? Raise your hand if you read that book. I'm just curious. Let's see. Who's read The Power of Now? Yeah. A few of us. Required reading. Required reading. You know, oh my hallelujah. I mean, it is. I've read that book probably physically 10 times and audibly maybe like 15 times. And just because when I read that book, I went on this trip to Alaska on a gold hunting expedition days after my accident, and we were on four-wheelers going into the uncharted bush to go hunt for gold with a team of geologists. And we had this trip planned for a long time, and I was like, I'm not letting this accident hold me back. I had a bunch of Vicodin, and I was like, whatever, let's go. And I get up there and I'm reading this book, and I suddenly, for the first time in my entire life, start to see God vibrating in every particle of my body and every atom of existence. I start to see the universe breathing in life all around me. I was just like, oh my God. I started to catch my mind thinking unconsciously for the first time. And it was so profound. I'm sure you all, I'm probably preaching to the choir here because you all are here. So you know, but statistically, it's not true. Statistically, majority of people are walking around unconscious 90 to 95% of their entire life, living in the unconscious reality and mental construct of the ego. And I'm going to say it one more time. We spend 90 to 95% of our entire life in unconscious thought. So what does that mean? That means that we're kind of on autopilot, right? We're just on auto. You're driving down the road, you're cruising, all of a sudden you miss your turn. Where were you? You were unconscious. You are waking up in the morning, you start checking your phone. Next thing you know, it's been an hour. Where were you? You were unconscious. Now, the challenges facing the modern day quantum creator are much bigger today. And you know why? Because the average person spends anywhere between 3 to 7 to 11 hours a day looking at a screen, multiple tabs open. And what is that doing to our consciousness? What is that doing to our capacity to remain conscious? We are becoming fractured in our mind. We are subconsciously, our energy is being diverted and siphoned into multiple timelines, multiple distractions, and we are becoming disintegrated in our mind subconsciously. I was reading up on this morning because I was like, what's the updated research on smartphone addiction? Which, by the way, hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'm addicted to my smartphone. No doubt. I'm not like telling y'all that I'm like healed from anything. Like, I'm saying this is a real deal. And here's the deal, you guys. Artificial intelligence is here. Singularity is here. We are literally, these are an expression, or sorry, an extension of us. We are becoming supernatural beings capable of doing multiple tasks at once. We are able to communicate with people around the world. We're able to, have these amazing opportunities like this where we're able to exchange codes and upgrade our consciousness. We're able to exchange information and transform our own spirit just in this one day. And that's the beauty of this event, is that it's like there could be one thing that someone says today that could literally activate something inside of you that would transform your life forever. And we don't know what it is. All right, let's go. Let's go. We don't know what that one thing is going to be, the one idea, the one insight, the one revelation, the aha moment. We don't know what it's going to be, but we're here with this genuine curiosity, with a desire to learn and to grow. And that's the seed that we want to sow today. We want to come to this event with a curiosity and say, hey, dear universe, I'm here. Utilize me for my greatest potential in this lifetime. What is that greatest potential? Right now, in this moment, we are calling in the greatest potential for our future. We are making ourselves available on a cellular level to ascend our vibration, our frequency to the highest level possible. And that is our job, right? Our job is to elevate our consciousness and to ascend our vibration as high as possible in order to attract and align with the right collaborators, strategic partners, supporters, people who are supposed to align on this quest with us. And so earlier I was just talking about, the challenge of technology and how important it is for us to protect our consciousness, to cultivate our consciousness. Everyone say, I am cultivating my consciousness. I am deepening my capacity to be conscious. I am deepening my desire to express my highest alignment. And let's just take a moment right now. Actually, I'm just feeling into this. I want to just invite us all to close our eyes for a minute. And let's just take a deep breath together and hold the breath. And as we hold the breath, we are tuning in to the thought and the frequency of the greatest potential for our future. Just tune into that vibration in mind. And align with that on a cellular level. Align with that on an energetic and an emotional level. And as we exhale, we're integrating that into our body, into ourselves. And right now in this moment, we just open up a sacred space for new ideas, new revelations, new aha moments, mind-shattering, life-altering epiphanies that cause us to be completely transformed and transmuted on a physiological level. Right now in this moment, we are just opening ourselves up and making ourselves available to that. Today at the Emergence Festival, right now in this moment, we just ask that we can be connected more deeply to our higher self. Right now in this moment, we're just calling in the presence of our higher self to be fully activated and illuminated in our bodies right now. We're calling in the presence of our ancestors who are cheering us on right now. Us on the forefront, the evolution of consciousness here on this planet. Taking another deep breath, holding the breath, engaging your perineum, your abdomen, feeling that electromagnetic field expanding and rising up your spine all the way to your head, expanding that field around your head, creating that piezoelectric effect. Exhale, calling in the keepers of the cosmic Akash, the Akashic records, to make the records available to us today. The records are open. And we ask for the Great Spirit, Source, God, to be fully present with us here in this sacred moment, this sacred connection with this community. And with that, we just ask that our bodies, our minds, and our souls are cut free from any attachments, any bondages. And I invite you to just kind of like slide down, just you can kind of cut those Akashic cords using your energy, your intention, your emotion to kind of just cut any energetic bonds that have held us back to negative self-judgment, any lack consciousness, any scarcity consciousness, completely cutting ourselves free right now on an energetic level. Right now in this moment, we are completely renewed. Right now in this moment, we ask that on a cellular level, all past lives leading up into this life right now, that in this lifetime we are fully expressed, fully actualized. From this moment forward, we are in alignment with our highest potential. Right now, claim that from this moment forward, I am in alignment with my greatest potential. And remembering that the language of the mind is thought, the language of the body is feeling. And so if you want to communicate and program the body to feel that right now in this moment I am living in the timeline of my greatest potential, you have to cultivate and generate that feeling. So tune in right now emotionally. What does it feel like to live your greatest potential? Feels like inspiration, spirit inspired through us, like an inner activation of possibility. What does new possibilities feel like in the body? Begin to ascend and activate that emotional state and see if you could multiply the current level by 10. I am the source point of new opportunities. I am the center of a magnet. My body, mind, my soul are purified, aligned, harmonized to the highest vibration. And remembering that the realm of thought is the realm of the quantum. So if you can move your conscious awareness to the thought and then pair that with the emotion, we're creating the thought is the electric, the feeling is the magnetic. So now we are bringing those together, creating that electromagnetic signature. I am generating financial prosperity and wealth in my life. Speak that. Tune into the thought of financial prosperity and wealth. Begin to see visions of your future. And then pair that with the feeling of joy and excitement, knowing that you have the power to do anything that you want in this life. Knowing that you're getting better and better at making powerful investment opportunities. Feel that alignment on a cellular level and see if you can amplify that feeling by 10. And now just tune into the beat of your heart. You can even put your hands on your heart if you want. And just let that vibration, let that intention go for a minute. Just move your consciousness into the void. No thought. Oscillating our consciousness between strong vibration of intention and emotion, and then moving into the void, becoming no one. nowhere, no thing, no time. And as we begin to practice this level of intentionality, this is the gateway, this is the access point to becoming quantum creators, to realize that we live in this energetic field of infinite potential. And through our awareness, we can begin to tune our frequency, tune our consciousness to those infinite trajectories. One last breath. Holding the breath. Aligning with the greatest potential for your future, tuning into all of our needs being met, the universe conspiring for our greatest good, for the greatest good of humanity and our planet. And exhale. Aho, aho. And you don't have to leave that meditation. You could stay there and just like vibe out with me. Sometimes I like my workshops to just be a meditation, and then as the words that come through my channel enter into your channel, you're, you know, in the activated asana and just tuning your body and your holographic body, your biological body. You're just tuning that and receiving the frequencies, the codes that my channel is feeling called to share, and you're just integrating those, because the more that we can turn off the screen, right? A lot of times we spend so many hours on the screen that, you know, this omniscient glowing light becomes a distraction in it. And whereas when we close our eyes to the external world, that is where we start to tap in, right? We start to tap into the infinite darkness, the infinite expansiveness of the quantum. And I'm just curious, how many people here have done work with Dr. Joe Dispenza? Yes, yes, yes. And how many people have not tried or done any research? So highly encourage you to check out Dr. Joe. He's one of my master teachers and guides. Over the past 10 years, I've gone super deep into meditation, and have been deeply inspired by him, by Dr. Emoto from the water experiments, Nassim Haramein, Amit Goswami, a lot of the people who have, you know, gone deep into the study of and the theory of quantum physics, and how can we apply that to our life. And before COVID, that's what I was actually doing. I was traveling the world, hosting transformational retreats, exploring the intersection of science and spirituality, and applying practical quantum physics to our life and business. And at the end of this workshop, we're going to do this little timeline design strategy session to kind of create a blank canvas for what it is that you want to integrate into your life from what you learned today. Because needless to say, there's going to be all types of activations and awakenings and insights, and you're going to be like, oh, this is great, I'm super inspired. And then next thing you know, you're going to wake up in the morning, and then you're just going to turn on your phone and start vegging out like a zombie on social media. I'm being extreme. I'm trying to be like, hey, you guys, wake up. Don't give your power away. Take full control and create a timeline with me today, and design what it is that you want to happen in the next 55 days until the new year. And so, you know, this is kind of like an opportunity for us to just like really go deep into, you know, deep creation. And I feel like that is what we are here to do. You know, there's a major shift happening on our planet right now. The world is waking up. We're waking up to the corruption, to the environmental destruction. We're waking up to the separation between the rich and poor. The veil is being lifted, and we are entering into a new earth renaissance, my friends. It is happening right now. We are entering into a new planetary culture of the new earth, and we, the people, are the people who are here are the people who are creating it. And a lot of the people I'm connected to, it's fascinating. It's such an amazing time to be alive. And while if you watch the news, it doesn't look so exciting, If you tap into what's happening in the blockchain, decentralization is taking place. We used to live in a pyramid. If you look on the dollar, the same pyramid, the same people that built the pyramid, the all-seeing eye of the pyramid, those people are the same people that put those damn pyramids on the dollar bill. Let's just put it that way. And they haven't let their power go, and they're fighting to hold on to our attention, and they're fighting to hold on to our energy. And it's like this energetic kind of aikido that's happening on our planet right now. And while it may seem like there's a lot of dark energy, I can assure you the light is winning this war. We the people are waking up, and we're taking our power back. And what the biggest aha moment that we need to remember is that they can try to control our minds, but they can't control our actions. We are individual expressions of the divine, and the divine wants to create magic through you. It's just waiting for you to say yes. It's just waiting for us to say yes to going full on into it. And so, some of the practices that I want to share today and strategies, I encourage you to weave those into your timeline in the next 55 days. Create a new habit, create a new timeline, create a new lifestyle. And I'm sure a lot of these practices are things that y'all are already doing, but it's good to just ground it in a little bit more to reinforce those old neural pathways, and just remember that 70% of the average person's beliefs are limiting or self-defeating. That's Dr. Bruce Lipton. 70% of the average person's beliefs are limiting or self-defeating. And so if we are spending 90 to 95% of our life in unconscious thought, and 75% of our beliefs are limiting, then that means that we're just in this constant neural feedback loop. Thoughts, feelings, actions, and beliefs. We're in this constant feedback loop of negative self-judgment. And you guys, I'm with you. I'm here on this planet with you. I've gone through a lot of deep trauma, and my journey has really caused me to stop running away from the shadow and actually turn around and run straight at it. And that's something I've been really experimenting and exploring with the universe lately. Is this, I call it source point transmutation. And we were earlier, the brother before was talking about becoming the alchemist of trauma and emotions. And essentially what I've done, and what I highly encourage all of my friends and clients to do, is to make a list of all of the challenges and traumas that you've had in the past, and essentially use that as your curriculum. And each one of these things. So I mentioned that I was sexually abused as a kid by a coach, by my gymnastics coach, when I was a competitive gymnast. When I first learned meditation, we were international elite gymnasts. We would sit on the sideline of the floor, or the high bar, whatever our event was, and we would visualize our routine perfectly over and over in our head. That was what we would do before we would get up. And I was first in the state, first in the region, placed in the top 10 internationally. And that's where I first began to learn about mental rehearsal, the power of mental rehearsal and visualization. This is the key. The mind and the brain are pattern generating machines. That is why we write down our affirmations and we recite them every day. You can open up the reminders in your phone. If you don't use your reminders, you can open up the reminders, create new reminders, and set those to 1111, 1212, 111, 222. Boom. Like every hour on the hour, you're getting these ding, and you're starting to use that. You're starting to program the AI technology, right? Because again, we are, advanced intelligence. We are quantum computers. But if you're not programming your brain, somebody else is. And do you know what their intention is? If you're not being intentional, someone else's intention is going to come in. And then you're going to have to clean up the mess later. So you might as well do it up now. You know what I mean? That's the fun and uncomfortable fact of it. It's like we have to take full control of our trauma, of our stories, of our challenges, of our shadows. So, I've done this work. I did a lot of spiritual work and chased the light. I became a Reiki master. I, became an ordained minister. I did all the things, but it wasn't until I was 30 years old that I finally got the clear insight, clairaudient voice in my head that said, "Call him now." It was 11 o'clock at night, and I was just like, "Wait, what now?" It was when I had gotten home. I'd been traveling. I got home. I was visiting my family, and I heard my mom talking on the phone to her friend about how proud she was of me, how that I've been able to heal my trauma, do the whole Me Too thing, and help other people heal from their trauma. My mom was proud of me. I was like, wait, what? I finally told my mom. It was like, for my whole life, I never told anyone. It was just deep trauma that I was holding on to. And then finally, it was like, she was proud of me. Boom, my body started to shake. It was like I was entering into a new timeline because I did things differently. I talked to my parents. I came out to the world, and I heard this voice, "Call him now." It was 11 o'clock on a Tuesday. I was like, all right, let's go. I found his number online, called him up. "Hey, coach, it's me." Denied it. He denied it. Denied it even happened. Oh, what? Like, I mean, it was a deep, powerful call, 1 hour. And I called him out. I told him how much trauma and suffering it caused in my life. I told him I did NVC, nonviolent communication. I did the authentic relating. What's the process? The Aikido, energetic Aikido. I took all of the tools that I'd been learning over the years, and I was able to apply them to the dragon, to the shadow person in my life. I think oh wait, hold on one sec. And that became the foundation for the next level to my healing. Oh, and by the way, I called my abuser, and I said at the very end of the call, I said, "Oh, hey, by the way, would you like to heal your soul's karma?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So he apologized. I forgave him, and then I asked him if he wanted the healing, I said, "I invite you to call every single one of the boys that you did this to on our team. I know who all of them are because I've called all of them, and apologize." And I gave my abuser the chance, and that is how we end the trauma, the timeline of trauma. We are reversing. This is quantum creation. This is where we reverse and we end the inherited suffering, the family trauma, those timelines. What is the word? It's ancestral trauma ends with me. Ancestral trauma ends with me. We reverse that. We transmute that. I decided from that moment to continue this journey. I said, okay, well, if that was my core childhood wound, what was the next childhood wound? Some things came up between my father, between my brother. Started actually initiating family counseling between certain people in my family that I initiate. My insurance every week. I'm doing deep healing work, and it's powerful, my friends. This is powerful. This is going straight to the eye of the needle. This is going straight into the darkness. The people that we don't think, the ego is going to make up a million reasons why you shouldn't. And this is an opportunity for you to dance with those old stories and to become the alchemist, to become the shaman, to become the mystic. And if you don't know what you want to create in your life, this will give you the capacity to embody the energy to create to bring more of your dharma into this world. Is this resonating? Cool. So I'm a daily meditator, and meditation has literally been the thing that has completely transformed my life the most. I mean, also, ecstatic dance. I host ecstatic dance Oahu here on Oahu just because I know how powerful dance is, movement, somatic therapy, somatic experiencing. Who goes to ecstatic dance? Let's see that hands raised up. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you don't, just go to Facebook, Google ecstatic dance, your city name. It exists. It's there. And between that and breath work, affirmative prayer, conscious community, I mean, there's so many healing modalities. I could go down the list. But but I really want to talk about this idea of quantum meditation and this idea that we are quantum computers. The deeper that we can go into tuning the instrument of our consciousness, the more that we can create our reality from the quantum field instead of trying to force things. Now, I want to, share that all three of my businesses that I am running right now all came from meditation. One of them, my wellness company, Transcend Alchemy, we create custom meditations that go with our medication, CBD. Another one came to me when I was binge watching Black Mirror, and I was meditating the next morning, and suddenly I downloaded this idea for how we could create lifelike video avatars of ourselves so that even after we die, our memories and our stories live on. We're creating a social story network, and in future iterations, we'll be weaving together this technology where you'll be able to view yourself eye gazing with the camera, and then using Siri technology say, "Hey mom, tell me about your childhood." And then it seamlessly stitches the video of your recorded answer appearing as if you're having a conversation. We're building this app right now that came from meditation as just a starseed download, boom. And I said, yes, we're leveraging this technology, our body's technology, quieting the mind from the three-dimensional realm, and we're entering into 5D. Now, 3D is like this box, right? Well, actually, you're looking at the flat screen, so you're looking at 2D, right? But then if you were physically here, or if you look around your reality, you open your focus, you see 3D. So we go from 2D to 3D. 4D is time. This moment spread out over time, right? And then 5D is, imagine vertical timelines stacked up on top of each other, infinitely higher and lower. Higher vibration of awareness, lower vibration of awareness. Higher vibration in frequency means a shorter wavelength in the, if you were to look at a vibration, right? Shorter wavelength means that it comes more into oneness, to the point where if you were at such a high vibration, you'd be in total oneness. Where slower vibration, lower emotional states, more separation. I'm not connected to source. I'm not connected to you. We are separate. I need to fight for survival. So when we ascend our energy, when we ascend our emotional state, we are tapping into higher timelines. The fifth dimension is accessed through the present moment, through our awareness. And just by, you can imagine basically like infinite dimensions are basically in this moment right now. And you can access them by just shifting your vibe, by shifting your emotional state. So in this timeline, you could be in a state of contentment and joy. And then if you were to jump up one timeline, you could elevate your state to a state of inspiration and saying, you know what? Something is happening inside of me right now. Something is emerging. I don't know what it is, but something it wants to emerge, and I'm going to dedicate my life to discovering it, right? And like entering into that state of emotion. And then suddenly, if we hold that vibration long enough, we start to unlock new experiences. We start to see new opportunities unfolding in our path. And so it's kind of this game of recommitting to our dharma and recommitting to our soul's purpose. So I want to offer a quick activation point. I'm going to share my screen here, and what I want to do with you all is I want you all to take a piece of paper. If you have a piece of paper, preferably white printer paper that is just clear, and we're going to turn it horizontally, and we're going to draw some lines through it. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see. Cool. So, I host these timeline design masterminds every quarter on the equinox and solstice, so you can definitely join me for the next one. I made this timeline as an example. Can you all see my screen? Can I get a yes, yes?
Yes, yes.
Cool, cool. Awesome. So basically, what I want to propose here is just imagine that like all this stuff is deleted, and just take a piece of paper, fold it horizontally, and then we're gonna draw three lines on it. So we're gonna have this line right down the middle. I want you to use a straight edge or um, something straight like a book, and I want you to create three lines just like this, horizontally or landscape. Cool. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. And while you're doing that, I'm going to explain what we're going to be doing. So essentially, you'll notice that here we've got the dates between now and January 1st. And these are mathematically every other week. So we've got 9 weeks between now and the end of the month. And I'm sorry, but between now and the end of the year, and that's 55 days. And so what I'm proposing here is that we basically create a strategy for what you want to create in the next 55 days between now and the end of the year. And in this upper section, we have life events. So I put this here because this is kind of like what it is that you're already doing in your life, like things that you already have planned. So I'm going to be in Hawaii, then I'm going to Miami for Art Basel, and we have an event there. If anyone wants to join us for the event in Miami, or if anyone knows anyone, or if you are an artist, or if you know any artists that would like to be part of our NFT drop, we're launching an NF tree drop to plant millions of trees. And then I'm going to be with my family in Portland for the holidays, go snowboarding, etc., go surf some big Oregon surf. So that's what I'm already going to be doing, right? But then there's like these goals sections. So I kind of added these sections here. We got professional goals, personal goals. And I really want you to think about these areas, and I want you to play with this today. I want you to play with this today. And you don't necessarily have to create the full strategy right now. I'm just giving you kind of the framework and the ideas. And then as we go into this day, when people share stuff, like let's say someone comes up with this really cool new concept that you've never heard of before, and you're like, oh, I want to integrate Soma breath into my daily practice, between now and the end of the year, and make that a new habit. Like, you can weave that in. I'm a big fan of Niraj. I got to hang out and cruise with him in Thailand. Super amazing guy. And then you get your personal goals. So professional goals, personal goals, and then you got your dream line. The dream line down here is a place where you can basically write just random miracles, like, oh, I want, my $5 million, I want to raise 5 million at the NFT launch so that we can get the 5 million matching, which we have available if we raise 5 million. So you just put these things down here, and the idea here, y'all, is that we're just like experimenting with the universe, and the goal of this strategy is to write down what you want to happen, not what you think is going to happen based on limiting beliefs, but what do you want to happen. And so, let's see here, it's like, oh, we want to launch our seed round. I should actually put this in January. But basically, like, you think of a big goal and you reverse engineer what you want to create. So let's say that you have a new business idea that you want to launch in January. So you might take the month before you launch the business plan, because if you're going to launch your business plan, you're probably going to do some fundraising, or maybe you're going to launch a new campaign. So you might build your board of advisors or people who are going to be on your team. And then the month before that, you might write your business plan, because you're going to need to present that to your board of advisors, in order for them to say yes to be on your team here. And then reverse engineering that, you'd need a month of research and development. And you'll notice that I gave two whole sections here, like a month, or actually 2 weeks for R&D, research and development. I really am a big advocate for giving yourself time to do R&D, but that doesn't mean just looking on Facebook and Instagram, right? Just because you're clicking around the internet does not mean you're doing R&D. I'm talking like real research, real organization, real structure. And so these are just some ideas, all right? And if you need to take a screenshot of that, you can. I'm going to stop sharing my screen in 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right. So y'all get that? Was that you got the download? Get the download. So the goal with this timeline today is this is kind of a blank canvas. I want you to explore taking those gems of insights and weaving a new timeline for your future and integrating. This is part of our integration strategy for the emergence medicine experience, right? Because this workshop, this full day retreat is a medicinal experience. This is like doing ayahuasca. This is like doing plant medicine. This is like having tantric sex. I mean, like mind sex, right? We're having tantric mind sex. Sorry, that was too much. Too much. Oh my God. Y'all signed the waiver, right? Okay, good. Check the box. You guys check my box. Um, so I mean, and that's the other thing you might like weave into this. A lot of us are like our self-pleasure practice. Like what is our self-pleasure practice? Like how do you want to change that? I did an entire year 2 years ago. I hosted a men's retreat, and then after the men's retreat I was talking to the guy, and he one of our brothers, and he was like, yeah man, I used to be addicted to porn. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy. I was like, I don't think I am. But he's like, yeah, I had to go to a doctor, and I went and saw this specialist, and he said, he told me that when you look at pornography and you are pleasuring yourself, you're doing one of the most sacred acts, right? You're channeling this orgasmic life force energy, the same energy that gives birth to new life. And what are you doing? You're just staring at these horrific visuals of people being completely just like degraded, and you're programming that into your subconscious mind. So when you walk around the road, when you're walking down the street and you see a pretty woman or a cute guy, all of a sudden subconsciously things start to happen. I took that, I started to realize, oh my God, it's like it just hit me like, oh my God, I'm done. And I did an entire year of no porn from that moment on. That was a couple years ago, but like, I mean, it was an experiment. It was an experiment, and it's we do these experiments to tune our bodies. Now, here's the thing: when you don't have porn to work with, guess what? You got to use your creative, juicy imagination, and it was beautiful. It was such an amazing journey of like really exploring pleasure. And when you do this, when you integrate like sex magic, for instance, like this idea of, and you can weave sex magic into your own life. I hope this is not too much for you. I'm going deep, and I don't know if people have already probably done a master class on this stuff, but like whatever, I'm just reinforcing the programs. When we're edging into orgasm, that is, we're in the state of trance. We're in the state of psychedelic orgasmic trance. Like that is the perfect time to integrate your affirmations. That is the perfect time to tune into your heart energy, because when you activate your heart, your solar plexus, your heart chakra, you open your heart up, like you think about something that you love, or you think about an orgasm, your heart is releasing 13 to 1400 neurotransmitters that are anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, antifungal. They heal cancer. They promote longevity. Just opening your heart. Just imagine like look at your cat. Just go pet your cat. That feeling when you pet your cat, that's releasing 1300 neurotransmitters that are healing your body. But you don't need to pet the cat to turn that on, if you know what I mean, ladies. Just kidding. I've got a cat. I love my cat. So we don't need to turn ourselves on physically in order to turn our heart on. The goal is to be able to do that on command through our consciousness. To be sitting at the bus stop and just like, boom, and emanating an electromagnetic vibrational signature that people can feel it around you. They just feel it through your vibe, right? And so when we utilize our sacred sexuality and our self-pleasure ritual to tune our mind to our visions, to our affirmations, to our goals, and we're opening up our heart, and we learn how to open up our heart, we learn how to bring our mind into coherence, our brain and heart into coherence, and then we weave that together with the root chakra activation. There's so much magic there, friends. And we weave that in with the powerful breath work, the holding the breath, pump, 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 activating your pineal gland. I mean, there's so much magic. And this is something I'm super passionate about teaching. And I actually have a workshop or an online course called Quantum Meditation Mastery. And I'll share the links after this workshop with y'all. And yeah, and I also just want to say that even in our practice with our partners, with our beloveds, it's just been such a beautiful journey of exploring, like more recently I was talking about how I was doing the work with my brother and with my father and like doing family counseling, and the next step for me for my journey was my relationship with the sacred feminine. And so I've been going on a equally deep dive into just like really honoring the sacred feminine, my relationship, and learning about emotional intelligence, and going on that journey. And so I'm excited to oftentimes share my journey through social media, and would love to just stay connected with you all. Here's my links. We got my Instagram, quantummeditationmastery.org, my personal website. Um, and I also, if you're interested or curious, my profession and my superpower is what I call sacred strategy, and I channel sacred strategy for people. I'm an intuitive business strategist, trained in channeling, trained in seeing, clairvoyance, been tuned to different psychic teachings, and clairaudient, clairvoyant. I mean, these are all superpowers that we all have, by the way. We all have them, and we're all on the path of activating these superpowers. But yeah, so basically I meet with you one-on-one, and it's an opportunity for us to essentially, you basically tell me your life story, and I will start to tell you new future potentials, and start to unlock different future timelines. And I'll usually offer a handful of different timelines, and you tell me which one feels like the most fuck yes, and then we double click on that, we zoom into it, we actually start to reverse engineer a timeline of your future. And through that process, new opportunities, strategic partners, business models start to emerge that never existed before. And the goal is to get to that point where in 80% of my sessions, me and the client are brought to tears at the same time. And it's this source point of where we discover that thing that is the fuck yes. And oftentimes it has to do with our blind spots. We walk through our life with, oftentimes, just completely blind to the fact that, we've been allowing for a certain narrative that's not our own to hold us back, to hold us back into a smaller version of ourself. But I assure you that there is greatness in you. There is greatness in all of us, and it is a latent neural pathway that's just waiting to be activated and turned on. But when we don't have a clear vision of what it is that we want to create, or when we feel like, oh, maybe this is it, but it's not super exciting, let me help you get super excited about your future. Like, let me show you, I've done this with over 700 people for the past 10 years, and like these sessions are lit, you guys. So if you feel the call, reach out to me, and would love to support you in any way, shape, or form. Amazing. So any questions? We got 3 minutes here before we wrap up. I could open up for a quick Q&A.
I'd love to comment. This has been a very profound time with you. You're just a joy to listen to your presentation. I really, really get a huge kick out of it. And you're just so authentic in your delivery, and I really, really love that and your story. It's been really good, and it certainly, it validates a lot of the things that I've experienced as far as like trying to use sex magic and to create the life of a dreams, and to just like integrate the day to day with the esoterical and hyper ethereal. Anyway, that's it for me. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Dude, I loved your vibe from the very beginning when we got in here. I heard you talking. I was like, dude, this guy is lit, man. I love your energy.
I have people lighting my fires.
Nice.
Can I share real quick?
Yes, go ahead.
I just love the timeline, the stacking of your different parts, like foundational pieces of your life, how you want to break it down, and the visual. And I like how you have specifics, but not too specific. So you can let that like calendar time drop in as it's meant to, instead of like pinpointing like every single hour and day, which can be so tedious and kind of like clogs, I feel like clogs the channel. So thank you.
Amazing. So good. Does anyone have anything else they'd like to share? I thought this was so good. I loved this. This is amazing. Like, I can't believe it's only been an hour. Somehow I feel like I've been sitting here for like an eternity. We went through so many different things, and like the Akashic records look like it's behind you, and you're just like pulling out things from the wall, and it's just like we go into a new world of Narnia. Like, wow, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for hosting and organizing this, and just I love witnessing all of your faces and seeing you all, and you're just so beautiful, and I'm deeply grateful to know you and excited to connect. So feel free to reach out.
Beautiful. Can we all take ourselves off of mute, rub our hands together, generating some love, electricity, and give Jonathan a big ashe.
Hey.
Amazing, Jonathan. Thank you so much for being here. So good. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and stand up for a moment, and let's shake up our bodies, bring in a little energy, an ecstatic dance, a little celebration. Ow, ow! Yes. Moving some energy, moving the blood flow, maybe even, moving the blood in your legs, shaking your hands, shaking your body, shaking your head, whatever you want to shake, shaking that booty. Ow, ow. I love it. Okay. Yes, Renee. Woo! We got Allison. Yes. Leslie, I love those moves. Woo woo! Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Jessica, we got those moves in that red light. Okay, yes. And then Jonathan and his Akashic Record library. Amazing. All right.